Welcome to Creating Success in the Mess, where we talk about just that, creating success in the mess of this thing we call life.
We're your hosts, Corey and Whitney, a husband and wife team that does life and business together.
In this podcast, we share our struggles and funny moments as we have journeyed growing our family, our faith, and businesses.
We share inspiration, motivation, and practical tips and tricks to help you build yourself and a life you love.
We invite you to join us every week on the podcast, and we can't wait to create success in the mess together.
Hey, and welcome to this episode of Creating Success in the Mess. I'm Corey, and I got Whitney here, and we're going to talk about oceanfront property in Arizona, right?
What?
Oceanfront property in Arizona. It's like that George Strait song.
Is there really ocean? There's not. You can't have oceanfront property.
Of course you can. Okay, tell our listeners about the phone call that we got, and I'm gonna show you the oceanfront property that's in Arizona.
Okay. So we got a phone call the other day in one of our businesses, and the lady said, I know this is extra strange and extra weird. I found your phone number on your website, and I was calling to ask if you by chance have an ebook about furniture, like the 101s basically.
Yeah, how to paint furniture.
Yeah.
Basic level.
Of like furniture refinishing. And at first we were like, well, we have a course online, but what she was wanting was a printed out, like...
Yeah. We didn't have a course on that topic.
No, we didn't have that topic. We do have courses online, but we don't have any like printed ebooks, essentially, where they could print it out themselves, published, okay? So she calls and she's like, I know this is a little weird and I saw what you offer and everything, but do you happen to have an ebook? And at first we were like, no, everything we have is like a video. You can buy it and watch it and do it on your own time. And then of course we have a community you can join also, blah, blah, blah.
All these other things that we have done and had, but we didn't specifically have published what it is she was asking for.
Yes, so the key word here is published.
This is the oceanfront property. Now, we all know, geographically, there is no stupid freaking water in Arizona that's salt water. Well, I could be wrong. There could be like a lake. But you know what? There's no ocean.
Right.
It's on the California side until it falls in the water, right?
But or according to my mom, burns up.
Yeah, it's either going to burn, shake, or fall apart, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, like if we ever move to California, it's just to prove our parents, like, you know what? Who cares? If we fall in the ocean, I can swim. I'm gonna get on.
Okay.
So whatever, be a rebel. And anyways,
I personally like California.
I love California. I went there one time on a trip. It was awesome.
Okay. Anyway, so back to the story.
So this lady's wanting like a furniture painting 101 ebook. Like 2-something years ago, I was creating this ocean water. I literally made a booklet, Furniture Painting 101. It's got beautiful graphics, well organized. I mean, this thing's like 90% done, ready to publish. And I held on to it for 2 stinking years and did nothing with it. And I'm going to say, I think it's because Whitney told me, quit wasting your time doing that. What are you doing? I swear you told me.
I mean, I don't know who remembers 2 years ago, but the odds are you were probably supposed to be doing something else and you sat down and did something random off the wall that was nowhere on our, like...
Welcome to the life of Corey.
Need to do list.
Like, okay, before we go forward, literally in middle school, we had a newspaper and I was in a newspaper and I was like one of the writers. By the way, I'm a terrible writer, so you can do whatever the heck you want to if you want to do it. Just do it. Anyways, I was one of the writers. And they literally had to create my own page. It was random thoughts of Corey because they could not ever find a category to put any of my stories in. But the thing is people wanted to read it. And all my classmates were like, Corey is so funny. He's got some of the most interesting things. Don't look at the grammar. Don't look at the word choice. But other than that, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's how you are.
Right.
You are so passionate, like multi-stream, multi-capable.
Which is why I was working on Furniture Painting 101 when I was supposed to probably be doing something else.
Yeah, probably. And you don't never know what you're going to get out of you.
No.
Like, you really don't fit a mold or a box. You try to. You tried to fit into a specific category.
Here's a podcast topic.
Yeah, that's a whole podcast.
We're not going to get into that one today.
No. Tune in next week.
Right.
Anyway, back to our story. So
right.
You had created this thing.
I had this book.
Yeah.
I had exactly what this lady wanted. It's my ocean.
Yeah.
But I had yet to publish, so I didn't have it in the front.
Yeah, and in fact, you had forgot about it. Like, it was lost in our Google Drive.
No, it was in Canva.
It never even made
I
it to the
never
Google
even
Drive?
even downloaded it as a PDF. So it's like stuck in Canva. Like it's still like in the graphic design like get it finished kind of like area.
Oh yeah.
I had to like go far down.
So this lady calls and you're talking to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
She asked you for something specific of which we didn't have, but of course, you as the true helper you are, you gave her verbally on the phone a consultation.
Yeah.
And she got what she needed to get unstuck and on down the road. So you get off the phone, and I thought it was just a lady that was, locally or something that was wanting to, figure out how to paint something. Because we get that all the time.
Yeah.
And so you start telling me like what it was, and I was like, you made something, we have something like that on paper. You made something like that. Mm-hmm. I just saw it when I was going through trying to collect all this random shit that we have made and just have sitting around on, Canva, but never actually done anything with it. It's not even just on Canva, okay? We have video recordings, like we have like all this stuff that we do, but then we stop short and we don't like fully publish. So I had just seen
I'm terrible about that too.
Yeah. So I had just seen, that's another podcast topic. Write that down.
I was going to say it, but.
Why do we stop short? Like, why do we discredit before we like fully see the thing through? Anyway, so I had just seen this not that long ago. And so I was like, we had something like this. Like you had made something like this. And so then you went searching for it and you found it. And it was 100% like basically what she was wanting.
And when I saw it, all I did was push download in PDF and I printed it off. Because I was like, whatever, just give it to her as is. And you were like, excuse me?
Then I started reading it, and I was like, whoa, Joe, like, let's do some corrections here.
Have you even read this? I was like, everything I do in life is first draft. I'm like, first draft and publish, like, whatever. If someone else doesn't like it, I can change it later.
No, not me. I was reading it, and I was like, that doesn't make a lick of sense. Like, is that even a whole sentence? What are you even telling these people? So then I went into Canva, and I, like, started kind of finding corrections, and then I was like, you know what? I think we need a third opinion. Because this is my downfall. I feel like I need, approval and opinions, multiple opinions before I just go forward. You're not like that. You're just like, I put some shit together here and I'm just gonna like put it out there. And I'm like, well, did you reread it? Well, did you look
I don't have a give a damn button.
Yeah. Did you ask anybody like what they think of it? And so what did I went through and I kind of like corrected things and I was like, well, okay, it makes a little more sense now, but let me send this to my cousin and get her opinion on if this would be beneficial to her because she's closer to the starting into the refinishing than me. And so I sent it to her and then it's still just sitting. Have you published it?
I don't know. Did we edit it? And then did you edit it? All the things that need to be edited?
It's been edited.
I don't know.
It's been edited.
I'll tell you this, it's not in the oceanfront property category. It's nowhere on that realtor's website that says available. I'm still just sitting on it.
People can't even find it.
It's stupid. It's really like, why in the world am I not putting this out there and making some money?
Right.
It's really, really stupid, and I guess I'm going to have to have another curb.
Yeah, so prior to the phone call that we got, right, we were sitting around and we were like, man, we got to make some changes. Like,
okay, well, first off, our life is a freaking mess, and so go ahead and stay tuned to the next, 5 or 6 episodes. Heck, it might be 500 episodes. We up and moved our family across the country, and I'm telling you what, it's been pretty crazy.
It was a mess before we moved.
We just, exposed all of our messes and went ahead and threw a couple more in. But anyways.
No, I think we have been, a mess in people's eyes. Nothing is packaged in a pretty put together bow. At some point in times during our journey of life here together, we have kind of got some ribbon going around some things, and then we figure out God, this is miserable. What is this that we're doing? We just are messy. We are creative messes that don't really do anything what they call normal or responsible. Sometimes we feel like we got to put the pretty little bow on to appease people, and then we find ourselves kind of miserable. So this has been an ongoing thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So being in such a freaking mess that we've been in, we're trying to do 1,000 things at once. And of course, we don't finish anything. We'll put 80% effort into doing something, and then all of a sudden, for some reason why, there's probably 9 attributes of why you don't finish something. Who the heck freaking knows?
We get sidetracked by one of the other 50,000 things that we have going.
Yeah, you're just jumping around.
Yeah.
If you could throw a whole pot of spaghetti across a floor, like we're just grabbing one piece of spaghetti, and before we finish eating it, we spit it out, and then we go to another one. We look like squirrels that just can't gather any stinking nuts in a basket.
But you know what? That looks like a mess, and it looks chaotic, and it doesn't look normal, but we have had some big success in this method. It's really, honestly, when we start trying to pick the spaghetti up to put it back in the pot, perfectly,
Yeah.
that's when it starts going down south. But when the spaghetti is actually kind of all over the floor, we have really had some success in that messy looking place.
Yeah, oh yeah, look at those spaghetti pieces. You know what that looks like? It looks like hair. I should get my hair done.
Right.
That's what it's telling me. The curb, right? It's like it's like these signs from the universe and from God are like, hey, get back on the road.
Right.
You know, and that's what that lady did. Like when she called.
So we essentially picked up our spaghetti that we had laying out that looked like a mess, right? For whatever reason, we got into this season of thinking that we needed to get the spaghetti back in the pot. We need to get the spaghetti picked up off the floor and back in a pot so that we could, get our, shit together per se. Mm-hmm. And we start picking up the spaghetti and get it back in the pot. So now we got spaghetti in a pot, and we also have some spaghetti on the floor still, right? And so then we're sitting in this place of like, God, this is miserable. Like, maybe we should just throw the spaghetti out of the pot on the floor and see what we can pick up. But I don't know what to pick up. Like, if we threw the spaghetti out of the pot, I wouldn't even know what to do. Like, which noodle do we pick up? And then this lady called. Mm-hmm. Right when we're in this like messy situation of debating on, man, we got some spaghetti back over here in this pot, but good God, this is stupid and this is not working. We were more successful with the mass of spaghetti all over the floor, so maybe we should throw the spaghetti back out on the floor. Mm-hmm. But then if we throw the spaghetti back out on the floor, which little noodle are we gonna pick up? Because we have like so many noodles we could pick up.
Well, and like me personally, like I like starting things, but not necessarily finishing. That's just kind of how I am. And Whitney doesn't like finishing all of my things that I start because, well, I mean, that's not really fair to her, first off. But second, like if she doesn't give a damn about it, she ain't gonna freaking finish it. And so things just don't always get done unless I have to come back through. And guess what? I don't come back through because I'm already starting something. But like in regards to this, we're trying to figure out what the heck we should do, what we should finish, and then bam, this bow tie pasta gets thrown in our spaghetti, and it's very clear like, hey, maybe you should take this thing you did 2 years ago that you started and finished, publish it, and put it out. And the thing is like, I will do things that I think are good and are right, and I'll create them, but I didn't ask anybody. And if someone's over here kind of like, hey, if you had blank, I will literally give you money right now if you have this. And I'm over here like, holy crap, I actually have this. If I'll just finish it real fast in the next hour or two, I can literally contact you and say, hey, guess what? I have exactly what you want. You want to go ahead and give me that card information and we can exchange some money for this PDF that I'll send right to your email? It's that easy. Well, guess what? I still have no stinking money in my bank account for it because I still haven't finished it. What the heck is up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we sit around in this place and we're like, okay, well, let's throw the spaghetti out, and then which one are we going to pick up? And then, boom, there's a curb, right? Picture it like the wall, driving down the road in your car. Well, I mean, there's a curb there. It's a barrier that, corrects you and leads you on the right way, the right path.
Or just keep you on the path that you are unsure if you're actually supposed to be on.
Right. The curbs are there as you go forward, right? And so this lady calls, and it's like, boom, this big old curb shows up, right? Mm-hmm. And we're like, yeah, okay, this is clearly a direction. I need to get back over here in this lane because the curb just, self-corrected me. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes in life, I think we miss those. We miss those things that show up, and we ignore them mm-hmm. because curbs can be uncomfortable. I mean, they can give you flat tires, right? They can
give you whiplash too.
They can be uncomfortable, and then sometimes the curb shows up and it pushes us back in a lane, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to keep driving down the lane. And so I think it's in life, sometimes we look at these things and we're like, oh, this is great. We either look at it as like luck or a sign or whatever in a positive way, or we make the choice to look at this curb in a negative way.
Well, here's the thing about this situation. So, like, this is our furniture refinishing business. We do furniture, all this stuff. And we felt like we were supposed to empower people and teach people, like, hey, you can make this a business. So we create all these digital downloads, all these courses, and we do all these things teaching people how you can make money flipping furniture, right? It's in alignment, feels right. But it's solely free will. We have the complete free will to decide, like, hey, we're going to be helping these people. And then Kerbin says, don't forget about the people who actually want to know how to do furniture too. Because no one's going to flip a piece and sell a piece unless they can first what? Know how to prep and paint a piece.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, yeah, that's great and all, and I understand you have this whole free will of wanting to go right in and help these business people, and I understand it that the riches are in the niches. Like, you have a niche of people, and that's who you really want to help. But hey, guess what? The universe is like, curb back over. Don't skip over the people that are here. Help them too. And I think that's what it is, and yet here I still sit, and we haven't published this thing or contact the lady back and say, you asked for this, and we literally have it. I literally have it. All I have to do is just send it to you via email after you give me payment. Like, we can do a transaction here. And it's like, what the heck is stopping us?
Right.
Like, even with the curb, even with being told, hey, take this opportunity, and it's very clear, why have we still not done it?
Yeah. I don't know. I think like sometimes the key is literally understanding that these are essentially curbs, right? Like, they can be good signs or bad signs, right? I think like the key is like identifying one that they're curbs. And so after you can start looking and identifying that they're curbs, right? And not just luck or not just bad luck or not just confusion, or like if you can identify like, hey, I think this might be a curb, and then you stop and you look like, what is this curb trying to tell me?
Yep.
And the curb literally can be trying to tell you anything. I mean, the curb can be telling you like, hey, just keep going straight until I start bending, and then you're going to bend and you're going to follow me. The curb can literally be like, hey, stop here before you crash into this building. Like, the curb can be, the curb can tell you so many things. But then once you figure out, like, you can see, what is this curb trying to tell me? The whole key to success is going to come after you identify those two things and decide, like, what are you going to do now, right? So for us, we apparently chose to just keep running into the same dang curb, right? Like, we just keep banging into the same curb because it's
like
not
retaking the test.
It's not like we stopped and did nothing. And it's not like we stopped and like, or just kept going down the path and following the direction that the curb was. We literally just keep banging into the curb trying to do, this thing that we thought like we were going to do, even though it was like, hey, wait a minute, kind of don't forget over here type of thing. So I think the key is to recognizing and identifying that all these things that happen in our lives, they're just curbs. They're just signs. They're just signs and assistance along our journey. And sometimes we get so emotionally like connected into them. Oh my God, this was a failure. I literally just ran into the curb and busted the tire. No, this wasn't a failure. You literally made progress, and then the curb was like, hey, like, we can't go any further. Like, we need to, patch it up, fix it up, and like, let's go that way. Like, follow that way.
Right. I can remember a time. So when me and Whitney met, we met at like a retail store. We were both working at the retail store, and like, it just got real toxic. We literally both walked out. Like, we felt a curb, and it was like, walk out. We didn't even have jobs. Like, you don't quit a job unless you have another job, right?
Yeah, that is a perfect example of how we've been like these.
The system says you don't quit a job until you have a job.
We've always not done things like what is considered normal or responsible. That was not responsible.
Our biggest successes that come from our messes come from when we don't do what the system said to do.
Exactly, because like let's follow this job thing further.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like we both.
What did we do? We went to Chick-fil-A.
We left there.
We quit a job, didn't have a job, and then we went and spent money at Chick-fil-A.
We literally walked out of this job in college, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, this is like, we cannot do this anymore. The curb was like, whoa, 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 bro. And we decided we weren't going to keep banging into the curb, right? We were like, I'm going to turn this car around and go a totally different way because like my car isn't even actually going anywhere and I'm getting real pissed trying to like go and this curb is sitting here.
It wasn't working.
No. So we turned the car around. We didn't pre-plan this. We didn't discuss this. This was no long term. This is one of us jamokes deciding like, you know what, this isn't working for me, and the other one getting on board and was like, yeah, this isn't working for me either. And we literally, that was it. We were done. We didn't go back.
I'm gonna ask you this question: if you had to do that by yourself, would you have quit?
No.
Me neither.
No, I would have kept sitting there banging my car into the curb, miserable.
I'd have continued folding sheets and placing pillows where they told me to place them, even though they wouldn't sell there because it was stupid.
Yeah, and we would have missed so much because we would have just kept being miserable and hitting the curb without like understanding that this curb was telling us, you need to self-correct. This isn't aligning with you anymore. This isn't working for you anymore. There's better things. There's higher places. There's more learning for you to go. Like, and it had to get real vivid, right? Because we clearly both knew it, and then it got real uncomfortable. So we leave, right? We leave, and then we're like, okay, well, it's lunchtime, so I guess we better go to Chick-fil-A and get some lunch.
Yeah.
And we go to Chick-fil-A, and we're sitting there, and we look up.
Our last meal, because we quit our jobs.
Yeah.
We're sitting in the drive-thru.
We didn't even go home to eat. We still just
we went and spent money. It's so stupid.
Yeah, we're
from the system's perspective.
Right,
But it wasn't actually
no,
stupid.
We were right where we needed to be.
No, the curbs were set.
Yeah, the curbs showed us and directed us all
We were
the
literally
way
stuck in a curb.
in
Chick-fil-A's drive-thru. You could not back up. You could not go forward unless the person went forward, and you couldn't get out of line.
Right.
Like, we were fully committed into this curb system. Like, we were going to have to, spend some money and eat.
So
but while we were sitting there.
Yep. While we're sitting here fully aligned, listening to our curbs, wondering what the hell is going to happen now, we look up and there is the shopping center behind, on the other side of this Chick-fil-A's drive-thru.
The big old logo that says EFG, Edmond Furniture Gallery.
Yeah. And I was like, maybe you should go in there and see if they're hiring for delivery drivers or something.
Yeah, because I love being a delivery driver. Let me tell you what.
And so we get our Chick-fil-A and we drive over there and you tell the story from here.
No, I think I just wrote down the number. We wrote the number down or something like that. And then I called them and I was like, hey, are you guys hiring? And they're like, yeah, can you come in at 10 a.m. on Monday? And I was like, hey, of course, absolutely. Yeah, I can do that. I thought I was coming for a job interview. I show up.
They didn't even say what they were hiring for.
No, I had I don't know, I was recruitment chair, social chair in my fraternity or something like that. And literally I had my Monday was my day off because I quit my job, right? And so on my Monday, I was supposed to be doing all these things with my different fraternity brothers and whatnot, and we were setting up this whole thing that we were supposed to do, whatever, blah, blah. And so I was telling them, hey, I have to go for a job interview at 10 a.m., but I'll meet up with you guys at 11:30, and we'll do this thing or whatever. And of course, Whitney's over here oh, you got a job interview at 10 a.m. Praise God, he got a job interview. We won't be broke, yay. And literally, at 12, my fraternity brothers are texting me bro, where are you at? Are you coming? And I'm over here, I can't text back, and then Whitney's calling me. And I can't answer my phone. So then I'm kind of I go to the bathroom, and I call Whitney back. That's right, I call Whitney before I call my fraternity brothers, right?
Whispering.
And
you were whispering.
I was whispering. I was like, Whitney. She's like, what are you doing, Corey? I'm like, shh, quiet down. I'm working. She's like, working? I thought you went for an interview. I was like, no. These freaking jabronis hired me off of a 10-digit freaking telephone number. Like, what the heck are they thinking? They had no idea. I could have been a meth head. I could have been blowing up banks. Like,
you did not come across as any of that.
No, my vibe is high, obviously. But it was like, they just hired me over the phone, and I didn't even know I was even hired. So then I'm having to text my fraternity brothers, like, hey, dude, like, I got the job, but I'm working. Like, it was like on the spot, like, work. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll see you later tonight or whatever. And literally, this furniture store hired me. And just no interview or anything. No. And now look where we are. We own a furniture refinishing place. Like, I learned how to repair furniture and refinish, touch up furniture and whatnot.
From leaving that job.
From that job.
Yeah.
They literally were like, hey, the repair guy, when he comes here, just go follow him around. And if you can figure out what he does, we'll just pay you to do it.
Right.
And I was like, you'll pay me more than you're already paying me? Of course we will. And I was like, sweet.
Right.
And I was like, wow, what a great curb.
Right. What a great curb. But at the time, it sure didn't feel like it. And honestly, at that time, we had no idea. Like, we talk about this story and we're like, whoa, like, it was divine. It was already decided. It was in the plan. Like, he knew what he had for us. Yeah. Like, he had it all planned out. He knew we were leaving. He knew we were done there. He knew we were going on down our road, right? Yeah. And for us, like, if we had not got that curb made it feel so uncomfortable.
Right, and like, shout out to the Sadahi family of Edmond Furniture Gallery in Oklahoma. I mean, thanks for taking the stab. Way to go. I still remember the boss's son, like, a year later, who was like, I told her she was crazy. I was like, why did you just hire someone over the phone? I was like, that is stupid. And he was like, but man, it worked out so good because, like, you could do so much. And we had a lot of fun.
Right.
So shout out to Edmond Furniture Gallery. You guys need some furniture in the Oklahoma City area, you got to go there. They got the best.
Right. Anyway, long story short, the point of this story is identify your curbs and then figure out what they're trying to tell you and decide how you're going to act, like react to it. In that case, we reacted A to the plus.
We haven't heard your story, lady. What was your story? What did you do?
I left there and I went on into business.
That's right.
That's what I did.
And what are you in now?
Business.
Bam.
Yeah. People do consultation for business. I speak to business entrepreneurs.
Let me tell you what, people.
I run business.
You know what we did? We thought about what the system says, and we thought about everything we were ever told by grown-ups, and we said, F that. We said, screw that.
Who says?
I am not going to do it that way because I have a feeling I had a curb, and I'm going to do this.
Right.
And I don't care that it's different than what I was told. Be responsible. You can't just quit a job. What are you thinking? No, it was sure as heck freaking can. And quitting that job and walking out has led us into multiple businesses, 6-figure incomes, and doing something that we actually love that's meaningful and true to us. Mm-hmm. So if you got something on your heart, you better sure as heck listen. Like, when I get off of this, I'm as sure heck gonna finish this daggum ebook and call that lady up and say, here, I got this. How much you willing to give me? I don't even know what the price is, but if you tell me a price, I'm gonna put it on my website, and there's 5 other people today that will buy this thing.
Yeah, put it out in the world, right? Now, like, we make it sound like, it's so easy, but with the ebook situation, I mean, we get curbs. You get curbs all day long, all the time. We still get curbs, just like this ebook thing, and we sit here and we choose to, like, keep ramming the vehicle into the curb, or we just stop completely because we're like, well, I don't really know about that. Mm-hmm. What is there to know about it? Just that, like, that's not working. We're gonna go this way. Like, that's like, it's just keep going.
The reason why I haven't done this ebook is I'm over here going, like, I mean, come on, this is going to be like what? Like a Chick-fil-A meal price? I mean, like, how much money am I really going to make on this? Is there bigger money out there? I don't know.
Who cares?
I mean, this lady may buy it for $10, and I know that's that's not a lot of money. Yeah, but 3 years from now, I may sell 100,000 copies of this.
Yeah, but see, so your brain now has you just continuously ramming into this curb rather than just getting it done and getting on down the road.
Right.
So what are you missing out on in the meantime? Like, what are you missing out on now because you won't get to the Chick-fil-A drive-in line?
Right. Even though it's also muddying my mind because I know I need to get that done. That lady asked for this. She wanted this. Why don't I have this done? So it's not only is it like not getting it done to put it out there, at the same time, I'm also sitting here with my mind spinning, knowing I need to get this done and I'm not doing it.
Yeah, not that she's sitting there, she doesn't expect to buy this from you. Like, this isn't something that you have, there's no deadline, right? Like, she's not sitting there really waiting on it. It's not something, that it's something that you should be doing. You know that the curb corrected you into this direction and that you're just not following through with, whatever, you clearly were invested in this. You clearly believed in it. You clearly wanted to do this.
Right.
And then the big old curb showed up and was like, hey, you remember that thing that you thought was a good idea, but then your brain started telling you all these things and all these requirements and over-educating you and, all this stuff, and then it got real muddy and you never actually put it out there? Well, guess what, bro? There's actually people that are waiting for you to show up so you can help them. They're waiting for your help. They're just sitting out there waiting for your help, and you're sitting over here continuing to bang your head into the curb. Just get it done.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So if you have one of those things that you feel like you're banging your head into the curb, take a minute and think about it. What is this curb trying to tell me? Am I in the wrong place? Am I doing the wrong thing? Does this actually just need to get done? Do I need to keep going down this direction? Am I making this harder? Because whenever you figure that out, then you can figure out what your action's going to be in response to this curb, and then you're going to get on down the road one way or the other. But it's this place of when the curb shows up that we get stuck because we don't actually identify and then take action.
Right.
Thank you so much for listening. We know that we all get busy trying to do life, and our hope is that we can find ways to implement time and space to create a life we love living every day on our terms, right in the middle of all the messes of life.
We hope that you've been inspired and our conversation will help you in some way, and it would be so amazing if you shared this conversation with somebody that you think would really benefit from hearing it. You can text someone the link, or you can share it via email or on your social media pages. And please, we would love for you to leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening on, because it helps us so much. The more reviews we have, the more people that will find our show, and our ultimate goal is for everyone to feel inspired, to find ways to create their own success right in the middle of all the mess. And no, they are not alone in doing so.
And finally, we'd love for you to join our weekly email list so that we can connect on a deeper level and you can always be in the know of our new release events and opportunities.